People think that they need a lot of money in order to travel, but you really don't. You can do things on any type of budget. So I was thinking about some times when I was getting by on $0, and sometimes I was just getting by on 5, 10, 20, and then for the more luxurious vacations, for the bachelor parties and those kind of things, maybe $50 or $100 a day. So I'm gonna go over each of these from my perspective and what I've seen, and what you can do on all of these different budgets to show you that you really can travel with no or limited money. Okay, so let's start at the bottom. What can you do with $0? With $0, you can teach English abroad. You can do woofing, worldwide organic farming, and stay somewhere for free and eat for free there. You can hitchhike to get around. You could use couch surfing to stay with locals for free. You can work at a hostel for free room and board, and while you're doing this, you can figure out a way to work online. You can use sites like Craigslist to find jobs, to find the odd job that's around. You can use sites like Fiverr or Upwork to do freelance work and help people out. So you can figure out a way to start making a little bit of money while you're basically traveling on $0 for free room and board. You can still get by on $5 per day or around $150 per month. You're gonna have to travel to some cheaper countries, but you can still get by on a budget in places like India and South America, Cuba, Laos, and Cambodia. You won't live like a king, but it's possible. You can find hostel dorm rooms that are just $2, $3, or $4 a night. You can live on the street food, which can range from around 10 cents to $1 depending on the country you're in. So you really can get by on $5 per day, $10 per day, or roughly $300 a month. Now it's getting pretty easy. With this amount, you can stay in hostels that are just, say, from $3 to $5 a night, which in many of these countries you can find that, and you can still eat the street food for $1 or less. You can take public transportation, take shorter bus rides, and you can occasionally have a drink or two. Okay, next, $20 per day. Now, as far as I see it, you're living like a king in most countries. If you have $20 per day or around $600 per month, you can do a lot. You can get by on a budget in many of the cheaper countries in Southeast Asia, India, South America, Africa. You can easily find hostels in the $17 to $15 range. You can still eat the street food for very cheap, but you can also eat at the cheaper restaurants where you're paying $5 per meal. You can have the occasional drink or two. You can pay for entrance fees to museums and activities, and you'll have the money to spare to spend on other things if you're traveling on $20 per day in these countries. Next is $35 per day, or roughly $1,000 per month. With this, you can live like a king in Southeast Asia, India, South America. Now we've just added Europe to the list. You can still travel on a budget in Eastern Europe. Western Europe is still kind of out of the equation unless you're on a really strict budget, but Eastern Europe is now a part of this. In most of these countries, you'll be able to eat at decent restaurants. You'll be able to stay at the nicer hostels or budget hotels. In the cheaper countries, you'll be able to stay at nice hotels even for this amount of money. You can have as many drinks as you want, take part in activities, and maybe some of the cheaper tours. You can take buses, taxis, trains to get out of the city, sometimes out of the country, and you really have enough to travel well in a lot of places around the world on this. So now we're up to $50 a day, or $1,500 for a month. On this amount of money, we've now added Western Europe to the mix and Central Asia. You can travel those places on a budget and even travel them pretty well. In all of the countries that we mentioned earlier, you can really live well and pretty much go crazy and do whatever you want. You can find hostels and hotels ranging from $10 to $30 per night. You can eat in nicer restaurants. You can take transportation pretty much wherever you want. In countries like India, it would actually be really hard to spend that kind of money in a day. So you'll be able to eat what you want, stay where you want within reason, and just have a good time. Okay, so the next one is $100 a day, or $3,000 for the month. Keep in mind that's only $1,500 for a 2-week vacation, which is the average American vacation time. Now you can travel just about anywhere in the world. You can stay in nicer hotels, eat at decent restaurants, throw your money at drinks, take the expensive tours. You're really not going to have a problem getting by in most places. The only places that would be out of the range at this time would be maybe in the USA. If you want to stay at a hotel, probably the average for a decent hotel is $100 in the United States. So if that's your budget, you wouldn't have money for anything else. So the US isn't really in the mix yet. Places like Iceland, Norway, Switzerland, Australia, those are all pretty expensive. You might be able to get by if you're budgeting your $100 between everything. If you're in a cheaper place like India or Southeast Asia, you can stay at the best hotels, eat at the best restaurants, take the most expensive tours, and just do everything on this type of budget. And of course, it all goes up for here. I have friends that spend $500 a day and they've done their trips like that for their bachelor parties and that kind of thing. But myself, I've never really spent that much, so I can't really speak to anything above $100 per day. So I'll have to make that in another video if I ever travel that way. But I hope this gave you some insight as to how you can travel on different budgets, and if you have no money, there are ways. So don't think because you have no money to spend on travel that you can't do it. Find out a way, find out a place that you can go where you can have free room and board, and then you'll be on your way to figuring it out. Thanks for watching. Please give this a like. It really helps me out. Leave a comment below and let me know if you have any other ideas or any other things that I skipped out on with this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, because I'm traveling all over the world and spreading the word, trying to help you travel more, travel better, travel easier. I'm Alexander Travelbum, and I will see you in the next video.